Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Please make sure your seatbelt is securely fastened, your tray table is in an upright and locked position, and that you are ready to get weird and think different. Please prepare for takeoff. Let's freaking go. Welcome to episode 1 of Destination Different, presented to you by YoPro. I'm your host, Ryan Dunn, and this show is about to be a wild ride. My hope is that it becomes equal parts entertaining, inspiring, with probably a pretty good dash of randomness thrown on in there. I started YoPro as a travel publication different from all other travel publications. I don't want to be Travel and Leisure. I don't want to be Lonely Planet. I want to be YoPro. I want to be different. And while those sites are great and they have their place, I want to bring a little more personality to the equation. My goal is that one day YoPro has creators and entertainers and entrepreneurs from all over the world working under one brand. And I figured a good place to start was to bring together some of my favorite personalities, some of the insanely talented people that I've met throughout my travels, and ask them about their own experiences. So that's where Destination Different comes in. That's where this podcast is coming from. You can expect to hear on this show interviews with people who, like me, aspire to do things differently. We've got everything from founders to content creators to digital nomads to everything in between, really. All of them with their own very different stories, and all of them with really an entirely different destination in mind. And there's no one who defines doing things differently more than the first guest that we have on this show. So today we bring to you Nick Corliss, who he grew up in Auckland, New Zealand, and came to Boston to play college soccer, where we then became quick friends. Since school, he's returned to New Zealand, where he started an organic food and drink company that has seen some crazy, insane growth. And recently, he just moved to Bali, where he's working on the social good side of a cryptocurrency company, helping to save the reef. He also plays like 8 different types of drums and teaches laughing yoga. I think this is a hell of an episode to get us started, and I'm really excited to bring you Destination Different. Let's go. You're kind of a ray of positivity and something that I love out of you and try and bring more in my life. So Nick Corliss, welcome to the show.
Oh, Ryan, thank you so much for having me, my friend. Yeah.
So let's start. Where are you now? You're in Bali, and what are you doing there?
So I came over to Bali, left working at Organic Mechanic. I still have shares in the business, and came over with no job, but wanted to follow the heart and pursue different passions. And I really felt like Bali had a lot of what I wanted to do here. And it's been pretty magical what's happened since I've got here. I've got a job now.
What are you doing?
I'm working for a cryptocurrency, a top 100 cryptocurrency that has a give back side. So each month they get money to give back to the community and make impact. And so I'm part of that team that is looking at how we can utilize that money and utilize myself to make positive impact in the world and help transform this world into a better place. So it's basically like a dream job.
That's awesome. Yeah, it sounds right up your alley. So where in Bali are you located?
Canggu.
Canggu.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
it's the spot. It's kind of like lots of young people, lots of health and wellness stuff going on, yoga places, good food, surfing. Yeah, awesome people, good vibe. It's a good spot.
I mean, I'm envious. I'm sure everybody listening to this will also be envious of your lifestyle. But to go back a little bit, I know you mentioned that you've now, kind of since left Organic Mechanic, but it was something I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, is kind of how you built that business up. And I think you actually had even started it before maybe we left college, because I remember you were like cooking up smoothies for the whole in the dorm room. So like, how did that whole business kind of get its start?
Yeah, so it was back. It was my senior year, and it was summertime, and I went back to New Zealand, and my brother and one of my best friends were starting a business, Organic Mechanic, making smoothies, and so it was something that I was really excited about. Health and wellness. I was getting into meditating, and I'd really noticed a difference in how that felt in my overall psyche and day-to-day life. And I was also getting into what food I was putting in my body. So I really went back and helped to set up that business with them. And yeah, it was originally around my dad getting diagnosed with cancer in 2005, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
And he went on a really big journey of natural health, making wheatgrass shots and alternative, like holistic healing, because you can get the chemotherapy and stuff. But also there's this whole other side, nature's kind of different healing tools. And so he was meditating and having, carrot juices and eating differently, and his kind of outlook and perspective on life changed as well, I think,
mm-hmm.
for the better. And unfortunately he passed away in 2009, and that was kind of a catalyst for my brother, me, and in a way my good friend as well, later on down the line in around 2012 to start up a health and wellness smoothie business. So it's like a gateway drug into health and wellness, because you got
really,
this
like the
tasty
rest of the
smoothie
health.
here.
Yeah.
You got this tasty smoothie that just goes down real easy, but you're like, oh, it's got kale, it's got bananas and fruit and these other kind of things. That how does this all go together, back in the day?
Right.
And so yeah, it's like fruits and veggies, putting them together, whizzing them up in the blender, and serving it to the people and educating them too. That's a big thing we were doing as well, was educating people on superfoods and what different foods, like bananas, they've got so many health benefits. Kale's got so many health benefits. Drinking water, just making sure you're hydrated, can make you feel great. So really educating people on what foods to put into the body.
Yeah, and that was one thing that I was curious to talk to you about as well, because I think it's something that I'm trying to do in starting my business, is building this community of sources like what you guys did, and obviously the delicious smoothies or whatever you were making was kind of the first step, but then the second piece was like this much greater community. I remember following you guys on Instagram, and you're seeing dozens, if not hundreds of people like coming by your shack to listen to music or to meditate or to do laughing yoga. I was like, that is awesome. So can you talk a little bit about like building that community element of the whole brand, really?
Totally. Yeah. So I think from the get-go, it's had a really strong vision and a purpose and a why. And so that's key, expressing to others where you're going and what you want to be doing in a simple way. And so that for us was health and wellness, educating people about foods and other things you could do to make yourself feel good, fill up your own cup.
Yeah.
And then I think it was having some clear values as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, we pretty much for the whole time, it's been organic and spray free.
Yeah.
And so that's something that we've just staked in the ground. We created our own values. What do we want this business to represent?
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of them. Sustainability, that was another value that, that we really put a stake in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And then community building as well. When you put on events, we've done different free things from parties to potlucks, bringing people together. I think has been really good. But it's when people share the same values, they've got a lot of things to talk about. They vibe, they get on the same page. And so when we put our values out there, I think that attracts people to what we're about, and that's a really good way to build community.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I was always super impressed just by kind of you guys seem to attract these like-minded people, and now it seems like as you've moved on from Organic Mechanic and you're in Bali, you're still around these sort of like-minded people. So how have you taken those Organic Mechanic values and brought them with you as you've kind of moved on to the next phase in your life and career?
Yeah, I think just really instilling them in myself and working on my own energy, being an energetic being, I'm doing the things like meditation, deep breathing.
Are you still sleeping on the floor? That was the one thing I remember about you, like sleeping underneath the dorm bed in college.
Yeah. I did some weird things, man. Still do. No, I actually sleep in the bed now. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Just trial and error,
Yeah.
It's a good philosophy of in Japan they sleep on a harder surface. But yeah, I think seeing who I want to be around, who lifts you up or who inspires you and who has that energy that I want to be around. So that's kind of what I looked, people with similar values to my own, treat people with respect and come from the heart. These are some of the values that we had at Organic Mechanic, come from the heart, believe in the magic. So I think it's been working on those for myself and really identifying those in other people as well, and surrounding myself with really good people. Yeah.
Okay. I like that. The other thing I've been dying to ask you about is it seems like you've been leading some laughing yoga over. I don't know if did that start in Bali? Was it something that you were doing in New Zealand? How'd you get going doing that?
Oh man, laughing yoga, it's a goodie. I was at festivals. So we've got a bunch of festivals in New Zealand that are like
music festivals or
conscious, let's call it conscious, meaning more holistic, around health and wellness and stuff. So this one that I went to was called Prana, and it was they didn't sell alcohol there, and it was different workshops that they had on meditation and all these different smorgasbord of tools that can make you feel great just naturally. And music as well. So music is there too.
Okay.
More probably a happy festival, you'd call it.
Okay.
And so there was laughter yoga. And I just remember turning up and just being like, what the fuck is this? It was amazing to me that you could just step into a state of way more happiness by surrounding yourself with other people that were laughing, and it's contagious, and so the way it kind of kind of works is that it's unconditional laughter, and you just laugh for the sake of laughing. And then there's exercises and stuff. Yeah, that's it. And there's exercises and stuff to get into it more. So you kind of like fake it until you make it. You still get really good positive health benefits from the fake laughter as you do the real laughter. Yeah. So you're still getting benefits, and then you get into the real laughter, and boom, away you go.
Yeah, it is. I did it. I've done it once.
You've done it. Oh, cool.
I was in Bulgaria, and there was this woman that was kind of very into holistic medicine and holistic healing, and so she came in and did this exercise for probably like 50 of us, and I just remember there was some people like. I like to think I'm pretty open-minded and was like, okay, let's give this a shot, you know. And there was some people that like were like deer in the headlights, like you'd start laughing at them, and it's like, they almost are like, what's happening? And but as soon as you kind of start, like, it takes a little while, you start getting going, and it builds, and all of a sudden you're like, I'm fucking hysterically laughing, and I like have tears running down my face, and I don't know why.
Yeah,
but it's like awesome. It's a wild experience.
Totally, man. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I learned about it from there, and that's so awesome you've done it, man. But I learned about it from there, and did it again, and then just decided that my brother was also a laughter yoga teacher. But then I decided, I just wanted to get my laughter. There's a laughter yoga teacher instructor.
Okay.
So it's like a weekend course. Yeah, it's pretty serious.
So you're a certified laugher now?
Certified from the Institute. Yeah. Of laughter yoga instructor. So I love it for myself. Getting the laughter up. Like, it's got so many positive health benefits from reducing stress, building the immune system, so boosting your immune system, boosting endorphins to make you feel good. And the thing is, kids of 4 years old, they laugh 300 to 500 times a day. So, you know, our 4th year on the planet, you know, everything's super funny.
Right.
And then guess how
playing
many
peekaboo.
Times
You're laughing.
yeah, exactly. But they're just, they're cracking up. And then guess how many times adults laugh on average?
I'm going to say like 12.
Man, that's very good guess. That's like, it's 10 to 15.
Okay, wow. That's sad.
Yeah. So I just want to bring more laughter into the world, and you know, if it helps reduce suffering, if people are suffering in some way for, you know, even a little bit.
Right.
So yeah, the goal is during my lifetime to facilitate, you know, over 1 million people laughing.
Awesome.
So
all right.
Yeah.
You got me laughing. So it's a start. That's one. Add to the counter.
Cool. Gosh. Yeah, I'm not keeping count, but it's just like, you know, that's just a number I'm putting down.
It's gonna get number. There. I believe you'll get there. You'll get there. And so then I know, so coming off the laughter a little bit, but I think it's like maybe you've got the food that you're sort of putting into your system. You've got the laughter piece that's kind of maybe coming out of you. And then, you know, the third piece, at least that I've noticed from you, is sort of the physical activity and getting the body moving. And I like what you say, making your deposit in the mental health bank. Is that did I get that right? So
pretty much,
like getting the body moving. So you want to talk maybe a little bit about that and kind of that third piece of the well-being puzzle?
For sure. Well, you know, from when we're in college playing soccer and working out a lot, you know, we would be doing some serious workouts. And so it was just kind of, for most of our lives, you know, it was standard for us to work out playing soccer. And yeah, I just noticed the difference going away from the soccer and away from sport, how I'd feel not working out compared to when I would work out and move the body. And the main reason I work out is mental health.
Yeah.
Confidence. I think like so much starts in the mind. Like so
Mm-hmm.
much of our reality is, formed by our perception of reality,
Right.
and so much is in the mind. And so really tuning that to a good level, I just find a fantastic tool to do that is just getting in and doing a solid workout.
Mm-hmm.
I see it as like I've got a lot of energy. We've got a lot of energy already where for
Yep.
thousands of years we were moving through to find water or find food or
Mm-hmm.
provide shelter for our families. And now we've got so many comforts of driving in a car, of sitting. It's
Mm-hmm.
of our food can be delivered to our
Right. You don't have to
doorstep,
move. Yeah.
So this kind of energy, for me, I find it can go up into my head and
Yeah.
into the thoughts and just kind of go into more anxious thinking. So I like to work it out, get back in my body more.
Uh-huh.
So work out the body, and I find that I can just I'm more present, more confident,
Mm-hmm.
less anxious.
Yeah.
After just, like a 20-minute hit, just smash it out. But
Yeah.
you don't need a gym, make the deposit, The
Yeah.
bank is anywhere. You can
Uh-huh.
always make that transaction. It's always
Yeah.
open.
Uh-huh.
This bank is always open.
Yep. It's true.
You can, yeah. So yeah, I love it. And it's,
I know
I think it's super
I've
important.
even recently found myself, I'm like, especially now not having a real job where I'm kind of like bouncing from coffee shops or I'm working from my apartment. Like I have to make a much more conscious effort of like, there's times where I'm like, all right, I've been sitting for an hour and a half now. Boom, get up, 25 push-ups. Or
Yeah.
something. So I've been doing
Yeah.
I've been recently doing, 100-day push-up challenge kind of thing where you do 100
Yeah.
push-ups for 100 days, where it's like, just knock them out. It's not hard if you do them over the course of a day to do 100 push-ups, but just get up, get your body moving 20, 30 seconds. And then you can even like sit back down. It just at least gets your brain going again.
Totally. Yeah. Cause I remember you were a tank
Yeah.
back in college, like, man, just, could run for ages
Mm-hmm.
and just physically a well-built machine. What are you still did you have a phase of not working out or
No, I mean,
and kind of
I think
have
I've
you
been,
always kind of
been fairly consistent, but like obviously
yeah
you're doing it at such a high level and so frequently, and it's almost like having it as part of your routine in college is a nice perk because you don't have
yeah
to make the effort to go do it. So there's times you can kind of come and go and you're working 60, 70 hours a week and you're like, oh, I'm not going to make it to the gym today, or I'm not going to go for a run today. So now that I've, am working on my own schedule, I really try and make it a focus of I'm going to get something done today and make it part of my routine. So still playing soccer and still doing, trying to get as much fitness in as I can, but making a much more conscious effort over the last, couple months to really make it a priority every single day. The bank is
yeah
always open,
definitely.
like I said.
That's it.
So I'll wrap it up here. I just want to have maybe a couple questions about your travels and you've done your fair share of traveling, which I'd obviously love to talk about a little bit. My first one, I think so I was in New Zealand probably 6-7 months ago now. We just missed each other because you were on a
Yeah.
trip, I think with your mom. Is that right?
Yeah, she was I did a big trip last year and she was on a little bit of it here and there.
Okay.
Yeah.
How is that? I'm in the process of planning a trip with my mother where we're going to Alaska. So I'm curious of how that experience was of traveling with mom.
Super special.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was after a tough year with my brother passing away last
Mm-hmm.
year, and just being there for each other and supporting each other and kind of not just sitting at home and which is all good
Mm-hmm.
and doing nothing, but we were really exploring and making the most of each day,
Yeah.
and getting to do that together as well. Super special. It's
Awesome.
you don't know when your parents are going to go.
Right.
who knows when any of us are going to pass on,
Mm-hmm.
So taking those times to travel and get out of the day-to-day sort of
Right.
routine was amazing. We had a month in Bali and then did a guided tour through Morocco and
Oh, wow.
Portugal and Spain with a Cosmos tour. The average age of people was about 65, but it was cool,
Yeah. You
I
were
was
the
like the
young
young
buck.
gun in there. Yeah. Getting in there with like some of the older generation.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, the guided tour was really good. We
That's
didn't
awesome.
have to. I'd recommend that if
Yeah.
with your mum if that's something you're
Yeah.
interested in. You don't have
It's
to worry about how to get from A to B and like
a
where to
little bit, little
stay
bit,
and what.
little bit simpler on the execution side.
Yeah, that's it. Less stress too,
Yeah,
which can cause less
exactly.
problems.
Mom, would just show up here. It's easy.
Yeah.
All right. And then my other, so I spent a little bit of time now in New Zealand. Maybe like, I do want to talk about that because, you're now in Bali, but New Zealand could give Bali a run for its money. It is like, I've been a lot of places and that was one of the most, I still say like the most beautiful place I think I've ever been.
Wow.
It was
Cool.
like, I did it with my brother. We did a whole road trip kind of through both North and South Island. Really, really amazing experience for me. I'm curious if you have, am I right? You grew up in Auckland?
Yes.
Okay. Grew up in Auckland. Do you have maybe a favorite place outside of Auckland in New Zealand?
I'd say, and what I recommend for people to go and do is the Milford Sound.
Yeah.
Milford Sounds. Yeah. That's just spectacular. I don't know if you got to do that.
We
On that
did.
trip.
I was going to
Cool.
wait to see what you said because that was like both me and my brother's favorite spot without question. Like it's
Yeah.
like you've stepped into a different planet. Like that's not Earth.
Yeah. It's spectacular.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to kind of comprehend, for people listening, what they're going to see or the different, planet that they're going to step into there. But it's those high cliffs and the
Yeah.
waterfalls running down, and it's
Like
next
crazy
level.
fog. And like, the day we went, it was kind of like this low lifted fog. It was unbelievable. Just the scale of it too is incredible. Like that was a wild place.
Yeah, I'd say that in the Queenstown area, Wanaka, some of the
Monica's
hikes,
too, yeah.
the hikes as well, the Great Walks.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a really good DOC system, which is Department of Conservation in New Zealand, that they've set up some huts in some absolutely phenomenal locations, and you can do multiple day hikes for peanuts.
Yeah.
And see some absolutely incredible scenery.
Yeah. I think that was the other big plus for us of going to New Zealand was, from Boston, it's a ways to get there. But like once you're there, we rented a car for cheap and sort of just drove around, stayed in the car, camped a little bit, maybe popped into a hostel and Airbnb once in a while. But it was like, it's pretty affordable once you're there because a lot of the activities, like you said, it's like you're hiking or you're swimming or you're going kayaking. Like it's very active. It's kind of out in nature. It was like probably one of my favorite trips I've ever places I've ever been, for sure. It was amazing.
How long was it? Did you go for?
So I was there for probably in total. So we did like a little bit on the front and the back end in Australia, and then the whole middle piece was New Zealand. So it was probably in New Zealand for like 3.5, closest to 4 weeks. So really got to be able to kind of enjoy the whole route. If we were like, oh, we like it here, we're going to stay a few more days. We were on like, it wasn't really a set schedule. We were kind of waking up in the morning and saying, all right, what do we want to do? Which was a good way to do New Zealand, I think.
Yeah. I recommend that to people of getting a van or something. And, you can stay in that, move around, and super special. You got to do that with your brother as well. Yeah. That's cool.
So
younger brother, right?
My youngest brother, he had just graduated he was studying in Australia. So we met up over there and, so he had just finished up school. So it was like a little graduation ceremony. It was fun.
Cool.
Really good time. So I won't take up too much more of your time, but maybe I'll just
All good.
Finish up. So what is next for Nick Corliss? You're in Bali now. What's the next year, 5 years? What day by day? What does it look like?
Mm.
What are you excited about?
So I'm excited about living here at the moment and just the different possibilities and magic that's happening. I've been spending a lot of time on filling up my own cup and really, tuning the body. Like I see it like we've got this temple, this vessel that, once you eat the right foods and you get the good water and exercise and get the thoughts right and stuff, things can really come into alignment. And I'm big on sort of the law of attraction and things like that. So that's always a big focus, is ensuring that I'm topped up. And I think health is the real wealth, and so just continuing with the good tools.
Yep.
And then I'm really excited as well about working with energy, the cryptocurrency. There's a lot of money moving into cryptocurrency, and it looks like it's going to be a big part of the money economy. Or already is starting, and getting to play a part in that and have potentially quite a bit of money to make impact in the world. So out here in Bali, just chatting to somebody about the plastic problem and the problems with the oceans and the plastic going in the oceans, and so that service side.
That's amazing to be able to kind of have the crypto, funding almost, and then be able to use it as a, power for good.
Yeah, it's huge. It's a self-funded charity, where the treasury, there's a bunch of coins that gets released each month, and a portion of those coins from the treasury goes towards give back, and that money is already a decent amount, and it could be quite a lot more as it grows. It's growing really quick. This cryptocurrency specifically. So I'm pumped about that, like helping to make the world a better place, and making sure as well, I'm topped up, because I think if you can't pour from an empty cup, if you're struggling, it's you can't do too much more with that. And music.
Drumming. I have that written down on my little list here. I'm like, when did you come so musical? I've seen you singing, drumming. When did that all happen?
Yeah, man, at a festival. Again, another thing at a festival. Just like I was in a teepee, and there was all these djembes going, and it was just amazing. There was a fire in the middle, and it was ancient, and it just felt really good. And I just started learning the djembe, bought myself a djembe. Eventually got a cajon, which is like a box drum. A djembe is like an African drum made from a tree, hollowed out. And now I've got a kit, and I just enjoy the different sounds and the music.
That's awesome.
Being a sports player, and then like,
transitioning into music.
Trying something new. So I'm putting a bit of time into that at the moment as well. And we'll see what happens there.
All right. That's exciting. That's different. I have no musical ability. I'd love to be able to bang on some drums, but I can't.
Yeah. You'll surprise yourself,
I need somebody like you, like keeping the rhythm, and then I can kind of like replicate
that's a good way, being part of a drum circle or something. So I just have a bunch of musical friends as well. I think, that's how I got into it too.
Good stuff. All right, brother. Well, we can wrap the interview. That's the end of Nick Corliss here on, we don't have a name. I don't have a name for the show yet, so we're still figuring that whole piece out, but cool. It's the end of Nick Corliss interview. thank you for coming on. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me, man. I've really enjoyed it.
We do have a name. The name of the show is Destination Different, and we appreciate everyone sticking around and listening to our first episode. I'm sure there were a few kinks in here that, we'll continue to work out the bugs as we go, but I really do appreciate everybody taking the time to listen to Nick and his interview in episode 1. A couple other quick shout outs and thank yous. One, to Nick for joining for the show. I know, asking anyone to take an hour out of their busy day is a lot, and so I really appreciate Nick joining us for the first episode. Also, huge thank you. The music on this track comes from an artist named Checo. He's a New Hampshire native. The song's called Superpowers. Look him up. He's on Spotify, iTunes. You can find him everywhere. He's got a couple unbelievable songs and was gracious enough to let us use his tunes for Destination Different podcast. And lastly, a huge thank you again to you guys for listening. If you could take the time and you enjoyed the show, I'd love if you could go into iTunes and leave us a 5-star review and subscribe to the show. The plan is to be coming out with episodes each week, and we've got a ton of good interviews in the pipeline. So subscribe so that you can always stay up to date on when the newest episode is coming out. That's all I've got. Thank you so much for listening. Let's stay weird.
I had a dream. You gave me superpowers. We fell in love for just a couple hours. I can't tell the difference between what's fake and what's been missing. Often I'm misunderstood, so I'm looking for a better me. This is your love song, baby. I hope that you know the words. This is your love song, baby. I hope that you know what you were. Oh, 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 oh. We should